Real consciousness is what is provided to you when you are in tune with the mind of the universe, which operates according to the divine law. They are not the same like many are led to believe. This mind penetrates everything, it rules over everything, so if you would connect with it you may experience its unlimited power. No prison can confine this power, hence there will be an escape. You will be guided up to a certain point, yet most work is to be done by you. But that is just the beginning. Much work lies ahead concerning yourself. I have explained a few times as far as I am allowed to how to connect, at least how to start with it. It truly is up to you. I would hesitantly add that studying ancient texts will help, although a lot is filled with perversions and wrong translations intentionally, but this only after a certain level of awakening. You will recognize and or remember the small parts which are true. If you are not on that level, you will take parts of the perversions and or wrong translations as the truth and fail.
Care to tell us which it is? You some sort of good guy who gives up tools, or do you rule over us? Did you change your mind, or what?
Neutral means in the terms I used, neither negative nor positive, merely providing the tools you can choose to use as you wish. You are the perpetrator. Or would you say I control every aspect of your life, every hour, every minute, every second, and force you what to think, say, do? Do not be mad at the wrong individual.
Is it necessary to know why we are here to escape, or just work out where we are? Are the answers to be found, quote, inside, or by, quote, joining societies, or by appealing to divine intervention, or all three, or none?
It is necessary to have a view of the whole spectrum. When it is partial, it will be like looking through the window while it is partially covered with a curtain. You do not know what is behind that covered part, therefore cannot act accordingly. What covers the whole spectrum? Understand this place, what and where it is, know what you are, how you came here, why you came here, how to return. Prepare yourself for the answers, cleanse yourself, reach out for the mind, speak within, quote, without, that you are ready, live strictly according to the answers. Do not join, quote, secret societies, never, whatever the circumstances are. Also no religions, including the New Age. Do not accept human gurus, prophets, priests, rabbis, imams, popes, fortune tellers, quote, mediums, Dalai Lamas, politicians, authors, scientists, quote, celebrities, parents, etc. as legitimate authority on divine matters. On other matters it is your choice to accept or decline, however accept the consequence. You only need yourself and the divine, no intervention by others in bodies. Again, no intervention by anybody. If your father asks you for a glass of water to show if you care for him and are disciplined, do you bring it directly to him, or do you take the glass of water to your neighbor and ask him to tell you what it is that your father really asked, while the neighbor did not hear it and now is drinking the glass of water himself? Am I also a neighbor? I have not touched the glass of water, I opened the door and told you to go back to your father. No one has offended me, people offend themselves. I would be offended if what I say was against the one, and if it is, I shall pay. I answer the questions I am asked and say as much as time allows me. Sometimes I skip a question because it has been answered, other times the question is irrelevant.
What are your comments on NESARA?
NESARA is counterproductive to you personally in the long run.
What are your comments on Planet X?
Planet X does not exist anymore, like so many planets, moons, stars, galaxies. Their demise, however, always brings forth something, which means they never stop being part of the whole, playing their part.
What are your comments on the pole shift?
It happened 2 times to my knowledge, in the second and third era. If necessary, it will be done again.
What are your comments on the second coming?
You returning back to where you belong after you have succeeded, which means a second coming cannot take place on earth, for you do not belong here. People who are waiting for a, quote, savior on earth to do all the work for them are all failing. I have noticed some Christians have gotten angry and are attacking me on a personal level by damning me. It is their choice. I talked more about Christianity than other religions because the questions gave room for that. I would say and have said similar things about the other religions and ideologies when asked about them.
What interests me is this: if someone takes the time and trouble to follow up the leads and clues left in numerous books and legends and sorts out the wheat from the chaff, what then? If that person puts into practice what they have learned, do they come closer to the truth that the bloodlines evidently have access to?
Yes. Again, the bloodline is only important for ruling over people. It is not about having a special power that makes one more aware, although the knowledge is being passed on, so therefore it appears like that. But this knowledge is not hidden. The truth cannot be hidden. It wants to be known by you, inviting you every moment of your life. That is the reason why it through the ruling powers is being provided to you, accompanied with perversions, corrupt additions, to confuse and make you accept the latter. There is not one written book which contains the truth and nothing but the truth. Pick it out and live accordingly to it, incorporate it into every aspect of your life. That is the hardest part for people if you have to float above this physical material world while being in the body that dictates the opposite.
How close to the truth are the writings of Neil Donald Walsh in his Conversations with God series? Are you in any way related to the bird tribes mentioned in Ken Carey's Starseed Millennium books? Is there much truth in the writings of Sheldon Needle of www.powweb.com?
The Native Americans have preserved knowledge successfully, but nowadays, the last century or so, it is being presented in an erroneous fashion. Integration is quote working. About the authors mentioned, like I mentioned before, it is not in your interest to accept human intervention, advisors, salesmen between you and the divine. They may say certain things which are true, yet it will never be complete.
No one on this earth has the power to quote, free any of us. No one outside this earth sees a reason to free any of us. The divine source itself, if there is such a thing, is waiting for us to free our own selves, individually. There will be no quote, mass ascension, no quote, mass enlightenment, and quote, we the people have all been duped by quote, we the people, into prolonging our sentence here. We can stay here in this place for eternity if that is our choice, and we have created a belief system that allows us to do so.
I would leave out the sentences quote, no one outside this earth sees a reason to free any of us, and quote, if there is such a thing. About the first sentence, there was a time when there were beings who had the power to do it, but that was not their task. And the divine sources. There is no quote, waiting, quote, wanting, etc. But living it is an important part of the task.
And by divine law, Christ was sent here to correct the situation.
Yes, but Christ did not descend into the body of a human called Jesus of Nazareth 2014 years ago on March 20th, almost 2 hours before sunrise, which is the secret time of birth of your quote, Son of God. The Christ, which has a different quote, real name, but I will use this name here, appeared once, just once, and this was in another era, not even close to our era where Jesus of Nazareth also lived in. Do you know who keeps the knowledge about the real Christ alive? And do you know who keeps the knowledge about the fake Christs alive? The opposite of what you are thinking.
Why do all elitists worship Lucifer the liar and deceiver?
Billions of people on this planet are serving their own corrupt material, physical, mental, emotional desires. Are they all elitist?
Is there currently a family feud between the quote, higher beings?
The higher beings are not in physical bodies. They have no quote, feuds. They are not under the control of this realm, therefore cannot suffer from this. You are referring to human bloodlines, and I reckon it is pretty obvious from what I have been writing here what the answer to your question is. There always have been some who do not do their duty. I am from a minority. People do not see a difference between the factions.
Red Chinese get HARP, retaliation for Hurricane Rita, Super Typhoon, eye for eye? What about this?
Do not pay attention to the quote, world events. They are all orchestrated to make you pay attention to them. The struggle you should pay attention to is on a personal level. Before accepting a certain knowledge, you have to investigate where it comes from. Some things you should consider are where the quote, knowledge, comes from, when it was released, how it became and by whose hands. More importantly, who controlled those hands documenting it. I am saying this with the best of intentions. Investigate the roots of your quote, knowledge, and see for yourself, it is for your own good. Knowledge does not just appear out of nothing, it is passed on, always. There are no exceptions.
And you're part of the quote, elite family that we despise, yet no one has ever heard of you? Why would we despise someone that we don't know of? Why do we despise you? Do we even know that we despise your family? Or is it because of what you know about what we consume on a daily basis that we would despise you, if we knew what it was? And if the ones we know the names of are not the quote, true bloodlines, and you say that you are a member of an elite family whom we despise, then you are inferring that we know you, in order that we may despise you. How can this be, if the quote, true bloodlines, are the names and faces of people we do not know? Is it more the nature of your presence we despise, or the position you take in the life we despise? And, if that is so, then do all people despise you, or just those who do not know or understand your true intent, and or nature?
Last time I will answer this one. It is about the misconception about rules. Terms are being used which do not apply to my family, yet they are part of the ruling. The flawed perception of the nature of the presence and a flawed perception about the positions which lead to affecting the lives of people. Again, you are in control. One cannot despise others because of one's own lack of understanding about the matter, yet that is exactly what happens, i.e. wrong target, wasted energy.